Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and on today's video we're taking a look at a set of ultra budget gaming headphones, well, headset. This is the SADES SA810. Is it worth your money or are they trash? Keep watching to find out. Okay, so we've had these sent in to us from a viewer, so thank you very much. You know who you are. And yes, these are something which I possibly wouldn't go out and look for myself personally. For me, although a product should do what it's supposed to do, i.e. sound good, do the things it's meant to do, there does come to be a part of it where the branding and also the looks of products do have to come into consideration. There are some people which immediately will see the thumbnail of this video, look at the design and say, nope, way too gamery for me, I'm out. And for those of you, I can understand where you're coming from. These are a little bit on the, a little bit on the gamery side. But for those of you that are still with us and want to find out if they're any good, let's get into the unboxing, go through what they're like, go through the actual build construction, all those kinds of good things. We'll also do some sound tests as well, so you can hear what the microphone is like, etc, etc. And spoiler alert, I've already tested them, so I know what it's like, but I'm not going to give it away quite yet. I'll let you make up your own minds on that one. Yeah, and we'll work out if this is something for you. Now, price-wise is one of the things going to come into it. As it says in the video title, ultra budget. Now, these are literally ultra budget. Normally they retail somewhere in around the sort of £19 mark here in the UK. Quite often we see them on sale for somewhere around the £13, £14 mark. At the moment, they're on Amazon.co.uk for £11.99. And even at that price, there has been some offers on. Crazily, I think these have dropped down to somewhere in the region of about £6 or £7 at certain times. So yes, these are ultra budget. So obviously don't get carried away. They are not going to be amazing. They're not going to be asking to be replacing your latest Sony headphones. But for the price and for what they aim to do, are they going to be right for you or for the person you're going to give them to? So let's find out. So first of all, let's take a look at the packaging. So as you can see on the packaging on the front, there's actually 3 different versions of this available. And actually, if you go on the links, which we'll put in the video description below, they are affiliated, etc, etc. But there are actually other colors available. This specific model has multiple different guises as well. So there is a 3.5mm jack version, there's a USB version, etc, etc. I'll give you the link for this one, which we've actually got. And then obviously you can go down the rabbit hole and choose ones which are either look nicer to you or have got a better connectivity, that kind of thing. So they come in 3 essential colours. You've got the white, you've also got the black, and also you've got the camo print. So depending which one you like, obviously, you may find actually the black one does look very, very tame really. And it's actually quite nice to see that a company with a slightly kind of gamer edge, not going down the route of red. How refreshing is that not to have gamer red on a product? The blue is a little bit bright, but yeah, it's not the end of the world. And actually I think they look relatively good. They look different, put it that way. It's not the same as all the other headsets on the market. Anyway, also on the bottom, so suitable for music, gaming, is a stereo headset. Also suitable for movies, soft padding on the ear pads, and also you get a 1.5 meter cable included to connect them up. So you can see by the specs they put on the bottom there, they haven't gone into too much detail about what they're all about. On the side of the box, all I can say is I'm confused. I do not understand the language that this is written in or how it's supposed to mean. So it says here, can clear reduction in field or sight sound incoming direction. Next one up, unique style of shape as well as hidden microphone for stylish display. The bottom one, all the human engineering design, 15-degree reversal split cool earmuffs, multi-point corrosion head beam, tough global. I'm lost for words, I really am. What the actual F is that all about? Fantastic is a very good use of English, but it's probably the right words, just all not necessarily in the right order. Let's move on. So on the back of the box, let's look at the specifications because these actually do make some sense. So the loud hailer diameter, that means speaker to me and you. It's a 50mm driver in there. It's got a frequency range of 20 to 20,000 hertz, so yeah, that's pretty decent. That's what we kind of expect these days. Sensitivity is 115 plus or minus 3 dB. Means these are going to need a little bit of drive-in, and also the fact that the impedance is 32 ohms. So even with me plugging these into my PC, into the front jacks, I could quite easily crank it up to 100% volume and they weren't distorting, but they weren't uncomfortably loud either. So yeah, they are going to require a little bit of driving with that kind of resistance, but obviously they were still perfectly clear, but we'll talk about that more a little bit later on. You can see the rest of the specs there, so I'll give you a close-up of that anyway, so you can get the general idea. On the side, obviously, yeah, more of the same gaming headset. It is essentially, yeah, that is what it is on the tin. So let's open the box and see what we actually get. So we've got a selection of items here. First of all, there is a Amazon kind of, yeah, one of those things that basically says, do a good review on Amazon and we'll send you a free gift. I hate these. Please, please do not ever do that. If someone from Amazon or a product from Amazon says, we will give you your money back or a free gift for a good review, please, please do not do it. It totally ruins the whole point of Amazon reviews and the 4 out of 5 star ratings and all that kind of stuff. It makes absolutely no sense. If you're happy with a product, do a review. If you don't like a product, do a review, but don't do it purely because you think you're going to get a freebie. It ruins it for everybody else. And I should say actually this on Amazon has got something in the region of about 4 out of 5 stars. So luckily there have been some people that have genuine concerns or problems with their headset and they have noted on it. And I would strongly suggest if you are looking at buying this, even though they're really, really cheap, do check out the Amazon reviews, because you can go through kind of sort of the week from the chap and you can get a real idea of what they're actually like. If you've watched a couple of YouTube videos and you're still not entirely convinced, read those Amazon reviews and they will definitely give you a little bit more insight as well. Also included is a pamphlet of how to set them up. And these will actually work with a variety of different formats. So in the manual it's saying we can use them with Xbox One, we can also use them with a PC, obviously, as I've said earlier, PlayStation 4, mobile phone, and also tablets, etc. It does come with a jack splitter. So we've got one of these. This is designed to convert into the standard TRS format. So you've got headset and microphone, color-coded green and pink, and that converts into a single female jack plug. That then you can plug in the TRRS. So this is combining the microphone and all that kind of stuff all in one. So if you're plugging this into a mobile phone, chances are it's going to work straight away with the headset and the microphone, and also things like your Xbox One, plugging it into the controller, that sort of thing. That's going to work straight off. Obviously, look at your device, see what it recommends, but realistically, most things, even things like the Switch, etc., pretty much going to work straight out of the box. So looking down from the actual plug itself, so we've got this, I want to say nice braided cable, because it is nice. It is actually quite pretty, and bearing in mind this is being recorded towards the mid-end of December 2021. It's Christmas, there's a lot of festivities, and these actually, this looks like tinsel. This is headset wire wrapped in tinsel, it really is. It's quite sparkly as well. So yeah, that is quite nice. Again, some of you may think it's a little bit too gamery for them, and I get entirely where you're coming from. So 1.5 meter cable from this bit here, which is unbundled, which takes us into the control box. So we've got control box, we've got a rotary volume control. There's no clicks or indentations in it, so you kind of bit of guesswork on that. But yeah, you can turn the volume up and down from the control box rather than having to stretch it with your PC or your console, etc., etc. There's also a microphone mute switch, which actually should tell me in my head why something that I tried in the actual video of the sound test that didn't work. So I had the theory that there actually was another way of muting it, but it appears there isn't, and this is the only way of actually muting the mic on this little control panel. So let's move over to the actual headphones themselves. Now they're actually made of a really strong plastic. This, I'm not sure what the actual type of plastic is, whether it's ABS or whatever. No idea, to be honest with you, but it does seem actually quite strong and sturdy. And the headband itself is one of the things which I was quite surprised at. The headband is actually like insanely good. You can adjust it. Obviously you've got adjustment on the side there, both sides, and that's actually a really strong adjustment. But you can actually twist it loads. There's a little bit of creak in there because obviously the difference between the plastics, the tolerances, etc. So yeah, there is a little bit of creak in there, but for the money I don't think it's too bad. The actual headband itself as well, really nicely padded, really comfortable as well. I wore these for, I don't know, maybe a couple of hours doing some testing the audio from the microphone, also listening to music, etc., etc. And yeah, they are really comfortable. They are over-ear headphones, so your ear actually will physically fit inside of there, so there's no real pressure on your ear, which is really nice. And the clamping force on your head, again, all heads are different, but actually don't feel uncomfortable, and even after wearing it for that sort of time, it wasn't a case of where I took them off and it was like, oh, thank God I've taken those off. It was like, okay, taking my headphones off, no biggie, which is absolutely brilliant. There is a little bit of adjustment on the actual cups themselves. They do kind of wobble around a little bit inside there, so they will kind of flex towards your head, although you've got some really nice thick padding on the ear pads, or ear cups rather. It is a kind of like a fake leatherette type feel, which feels slightly more plasticky than it does leather, if I'm completely honest with you, but still very comfortable. And even though I actually wore it for quite a time and it's relatively warm in this room, about 23, 24 degrees, it's not plastered in sweat or anything, so that's always nice. And on the inside you've got some cushioning there as well, which I thought was going to be foam, but it's not actually. It's just like a material on there, so there's no actual cushioning on the actual driver itself. So yeah, that is it is what it is. When it comes to the microphone, so the microphone here is kind of tucked out the way at the moment, so when you're wearing it and you're not using a microphone, you can put it in the upright position. If you're maybe eating or doing something else, you can flip it out of the way. When you want to use it, you can just flip it down and put it into a position which suits you, either down low, wherever you want to do. Now there is an indentation which between that position and there, which I thought was a means of actually muting the microphone, which it appears that actually isn't the case, as you'll see from the video, which actually is probably a good idea we play that now. So this is an example of the audio recording. I will put on the screen now any adjustments made in Adobe Premiere to normalize the audio level so you can get an idea of what it's like. In OBS, which I recorded it in on my PC, the audio level input was set to around about 3/4, which is what I normally set my cameras and other audio equipment to when I'm doing live streams. So it should be a pretty fair representation of what it is. And obviously you'll see how much gain I've had to add to the recording. So let's hear that now. Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing, and today we're doing a test of the SADES SA810 headset. This is a test of the microphone. The OBS recording at the moment currently has got the audio level set to, I can't even see from here, but it's about 3/4. I'll try and get you a screenshot so you can see what it's like. I will, if there is any adjustments needed to be made in Adobe Premiere when we do the actual video editing, if there's any adjustments necessary, I'll put that on the screen right now, so you'll see that here or somewhere. But hopefully this will give you a good idea of what the sound quality is like from the built-in microphone. I was kind of hoping that the microphone itself, it is actually movable, so you can change direction, but I was hoping that it actually turns off when it's in the upright position. But it appears like it's still picking up from what I can tell, although there is a definite click between that position and that position, which you'd think that was off, but it doesn't appear to be. So there's a little bit of noise coming through there, I would imagine, from the boom. But anyway, I will be seeing what this actually sounds like, and I'll be referring to it in the video, but this is just a sound test so you can hear what it's like. I'll be quiet now so you can hear the background hiss. Hopefully it isn't too bad. Anyway, that's the end of the test, so let's get back to the video. So there you go, there's an example. Again, I'm not entirely sure with the microphone. It does appear, from what I can tell from the playback and actually listening back to it in the headphones as well, it does appear that it's a mono microphone, which isn't a great surprise, but I'm sure that when I've done audio recordings previously, they've kind of converted that mono input to a stereo output, just like dual mono into both earphones, whereas I could only actually hear it in my right hand side, not the left. So yeah, potentially you might have to play around with your software, whatever recording software or whatever PC software you're using to try and get that to come across stereo if you wanted to. Maybe it's not such a big deal. Certainly for gaming purposes, I think it's actually going to be fine, because then you're going to have just the audio coming out of one side rather than being both. So if you're playing a game and you're listening out for things like footsteps or whatever it is, then it's great because the audio is not kind of overpowering that. But if you're doing things like maybe broadcasting or trying to actually record YouTube videos using a headset, then this is probably not the microphone for you, if I'm completely honest with you. Where it does get better though is the actual sound quality itself. Now actually listening to the MUB playlist, which I've got saved, which I'll put some links in so you can see what that's like, is basically a huge range of different types of audio, ranging from things from the 70s, 80s, 90s, the zeros, etc., and modern stuff, and all kinds of things, bass, treble heavy, classical, all those kinds of things all mixed into one. And actually, I've got to be honest with you, they sound pretty decent. I was surprised. The bass is actually really nice. There's not that overinflated bass, it's just a nice bass which resonates well, and even some of the older tracks from the 80s and kind of 90s do actually have quite a bit of punch to them, which I was actually quite surprised for the price. I'll be honest with you, I was expecting them to sound like trash. I really did. You don't always get a reasonably good experience, but this is actually one of those times where I'm actually pleasantly surprised. And if I'd have gone purely on looks alone, whilst shopping on Amazon and looked through and I saw these, I'll be honest with you, like I said at the start of the video, there's a very strong chance I would have completely gone past these. And actually, because obviously they were kindly sent to us by Ugly Bob, we do appreciate it, thank you very much. It's actually opened my eyes to the fact that I do have a bias when it comes to buying things in terms of looks, branding, etc, etc. So it's actually really good that this brand, albeit they've been around for quite a long time apparently, so they've been doing PC stuff for a long time. I've never heard of them before, and I'll imagine some of you in the viewers at the moment have probably never heard of it before either. So all I can say is, if you are looking for a cheap and cheerful headset, which is going to be good for listening to movies, music, gaming, etc, etc, isn't going to cost you an absolute fortune, and actually because of the actual strength of them, they're going to be relatively indestructible, I think. So for younger children, absolutely brilliant. For people who just want to use them every now and then, great. If you're going to use them for a daily driver, I'm not sure they've quite got the quality in terms of the microphone, but in terms of the actual speakers, if you've got something which is going to drive them hard enough, I think they're going to sound great. So anyway, let me know what you think about these in the comments section below. But in the meantime, I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll see you in the very next video. Thanks for watching.